this, the former Asia chairman of Republicans abroad, Ross Feingold, joins me now live from Taipei. Ross, good to have you here with us on TRT World. Let me start by asking you, the contrarian view would say that this is an effort by the current government of the United States to basically ban the most prominent rival of President Joe Biden from running in the next elections. What do you make of that?
Well, that's an interesting point. And yes, many people are going to say that and say that this committee in the House of Representatives was inherently partisan, notwithstanding that two Republicans were members. But to look at that from another perspective, if the Democrats really wanted to have the weakest opponent, or if they thought that Donald Trump is an inherently bad choice for president, they would let him become the Republicans' candidate. They would encourage that and then win on the merits of the points they've made in the report. So how this plays out politically, it's of course a little too early. I mean, the Democrats hurt themselves, I think, with how long they waited to issue this report, keeping in mind they stood up the committee around 18 months ago. And of course, they've said that more witnesses have come forward in the last 6 months. So it added to their work and it delayed the final release of the report. But from a political perspective, this is coming 5-6 weeks after the U.S. election. And so if they wanted to have the best political benefit, they would have released this before the election. Instead, they're releasing it a couple of days before Christmas in the middle of this massive winter weather and storm situation in the United States, and with the Republicans taking control of the House. So politically, this is now outside of Congress. Congress is done. I wouldn't expect a Democrat-controlled Senate to do much with this in the new year. So then it's up to the Justice Department whether or not they'll take any action, including potentially criminal charges based on the referral from the committee or other information that the Department of Justice has gathered. But that also is very much in doubt whether or not the Justice Department would actually bring criminal charges against Donald Trump.
Right. Ross, in politics, they say it's not a good idea to speculate, but let's do that for a second here. If Donald Trump is barred from running in the next presidential election, what do you think would be the impact of it on the wider political spectrum of the United States?
Well, it would certainly add to this partisanship, this tribalism, my side versus your side, which has become an increasing problem in the United States in recent decades. It didn't start with Donald Trump's presidency or Joe Biden's presidency. This has been a serious issue now, I would say, going back to the Clinton administration. So whether George W. Bush, Barack Obama, followed by Trump and Biden, this problem of hyperpartisanship has been quite serious. However, even if Donald Trump's supporters are angry that they can't vote for him, they'll probably just vote for the Republican candidate who would look to pick up at least some, or if not most, of Donald Trump's political and policy legacy. So right now, the Republican whose name is considered most likely to be the nominee, if it's not Donald Trump, is Governor DeSantis of Florida, who was just reelected. Very conservative from a policy perspective. His policies are very similar to Donald Trump's. And I think Republican voters who voted for Trump would just as easily transfer their vote to someone like DeSantis and would enthusiastically support him.
Ross Feingold, thank you very much for talking to us here on TRT World. Really appreciate your taking out the time.